No, in fact, it's not the kind of thing that you can go and say, oh, I'm going to do Valerian next year. You know, you have to measure if you can do it first. And there's 29 albums of Valerian, so you have to figure, you know, the themes and the character and what's available and how you can organize the thing. It's you're not prepping a dinner for 2 people or for 15. So I have the feeling I have to prep a dinner for 200 by myself. I'm gonna walk it back. Yes.
Mr. Besson, I love you. You are. You're my favorite. I love you. This. You said in many interviews before this that this film was your passion project and you loved the original comics, but I want to ask, what's your advice for adapting something that you love? Say it's a TV show, comic book that you wrote, because I want to be a filmmaker one day just like you.
I think you have to measure if there is something to say in it first. A TV show or a comic book, it's not the same length, it's not the same tool. Even a song is something different, or painting, or a sculpture. Film is different, so you need to be sure that there is enough food or enough things to say in it to first adapt it. So first to measure what's in it. Oh my God. Trump? No. I'm not to talk to this guy. And I'm going to tell you a funny story. When I did my first short film, I was 17. I found the money to do it. And it was about mermaids. So half of the movie was underwater. And I managed to go in Italy and arrange the technician and I couldn't pay. And the last minute, the guy with the submarine camera canceled. So I'm here stuck in Italy with a film about underwater mermaids without a camera who goes underwater. So what do? I change my script. Okay, so the mermaid is not underwater, she's on Earth and things, and I try to, modify my story. And at the end I made the film. I couldn't find an actor, so I did it myself. And I'm not an actor. And I end up finishing my film. It takes 6 months because I have to go only on Sunday to the editing room when the guy was not working, so he gave me the editing room. And one day, finally, I have my film. It's 7 minutes. I'm so proud. It's my film. I'm crying. And I do this little screening with my friends, and I'm 17, most of them they're 25. And I show the film, and honestly, I'm crying during the screening. It's my film. I've done it. And at the end, I said, what do you think? Like I said, let's take a drink. Okay? So we went to the bar, and the guy said, look, you're 17, so there's something very important that you have to learn if you want to continue this job. If you have nothing to say, just shut your fuck up. And then my first reaction said, what do you mean? Because I didn't understand the thing at the time. And so he went, and I cried a lot. And I went to see my mom, and I buried the film. I put some fuel on it, and I burned the film. And I learned something that I never forget, is what are you saying? You ask two people to come to see you, to pay, to park the car, to come in. What are you going to tell them? Why it's so important that they have to come to see you? Say something. It doesn't matter if it's funny or sad or politically correct or incorrect, but just say something. Say who you are. Say the way you think, the way you see things. And so it's like a painter. You just have to paint, what you feel. So my first advice is this one. If you have nothing to say, shut your fuck up.
creation of such a masterpiece, I'm sure there were lots of issues you had to overcome. What was the single biggest issue that you had to overcome, and can you share with us how you did it?
God, you have such a strong accent.
What was the biggest issue you had to overcome in making this?
For this one?
Yeah.
What was the most difficult for me is the film happened in 24 hours and it took me 7 years. So you have this thin rope called the pace, the arc of the character, the emotional day, the soul. All these things were very thin that you have to follow in 24 hours. And you have this rope in your hand and you're always scared that this rope's gonna break any moment. It's very hard, and it was honestly almost my fear every morning to be sure, because sometimes you shoot a scene and the rest of the scene with the special effect, it's 18 months later. So the guy is in a room, he push the door and then he takes 3 kilos. That's my fear. And to be able to verify that on the way, there's some tricks. One of the first one is to read the script every morning until where you're going to shoot. So if I'm shooting page number 27, I'm going to read until page 27. I have another trick, which is to put the same music, the same album every morning, because the music gives you the beats, and as soon as you hear it, you're back to where you were emotionally. So it's a good help, to remember where you were emotionally. So same, I have one album for at least 3 years, on the same one all the time. Can't stand it anymore now, but I stuck to it for 3 years. So that was the most difficult for me. Yes. What was it to work with Cara? It was great. She's wonderful, and I tested her a lot before to start the film. I tortured her, in fact, a lot, because I want to be sure that what she has inside. And I think Cara is a model by hazard. In fact, she met someone in the street and said, "You want to make pictures?" She said, "Yeah, sure." She's in fact, she's a real artist. She's a born actress, honestly. I've seen some of them in my life. I've met Natalie Portman, she was 11. And Mila Jovovich, she was 19. So I, without sounding too pretentious, I think I know when I met an actor or an actress what they have inside. And Cara is really, really talented. She's going to do a lot of things. I understand people, they always like, oh, she's not an actress, she's a... But you know what? Harrison Ford was a carpenter. And he ended up pretty good. Robert Mitchum, his first job, you know the story of Robert Mitchum? You know it? No? There's this producer who died in LA and all his friends coming to the cemetery, and there's this guy, the one who is in charge to wash dead people, and it's Robert Mitchum. And there's a producer here, like crying for his friend, and on the side he said, "Oh my God, this guy is great." And he hired a guy, Robert Mitchum. So nothing wrong by being a model. The red hair thing. Yeah, so for the one who knows the comic, which is 1% around the world, she has a red hair. So we tried with Cara, and it doesn't fit very well on her, to be honest. So, but anyway, I'm trapped, because if I put her in the red hair, everybody will say, "Oh, it's like Lilo, the Fifth Element." So I'm fucked both ways. It's not the most? No, I didn't understand if you say it's the most or it's not the most. No, what did you say? Thanks. Thank you. It's difficult to answer. Okay, I'm just going to talk for myself as a moviegoer. Right now, since a couple of years, the same sci-fi film, superhero thing, you get the plot in 20 minutes, the villain is always an alien, they're all in ties. I'm honestly, personally, as a moviegoer, I'm a little fed up with it. I don't know if the number 3 was better than number 4 or number 5 is better than number 3. And I don't know which superhero works with which one, and I get confused. I love it like 7, 8 years ago. The first few ones, they were great. Now it sounds too much for me like a machinery, repeating itself. And that's not what I like. I like to take risk. They're not superheroes, and it's crazy, and it goes everywhere. But at least I want to. It's like a painting. Like you're in front of a painting. I want you to react and say, "Oh my God, it's insane, this painting." Picasso one day take the eye and put the eyes in here, and he put the nose here. He destructured the face of someone. The critics were screaming, "This is not painting." Are you sure? He tries, he offers something, and then suddenly the entire world of painting were totally like off guard. Because he did it, or Dali, or so many painters. So it's what I try to do. I try to escape from the economical strength that we put it in. Like today, there is some people in the studio, they say, "Oh, you should take, a black guy for the black audience because it's, going to increase 15% if you..." Is it the best for the part? Because that's my question. If the black guy is the best for the part, great. But just because the guy is known that we have to take him, or now put a blonde, it's much better to put a blonde girl. Really? And a blonde girl, like a blonde girl, it works. And we have to fight. We have to fight for this. Because there's lots of money involved, so they don't let you do that at all. They don't let you try. So what I'm the most proud of is I propose something different for sure. And it's, you will see the second time it's even better when you watch it, because there's so many things that you have not seen on the first take. And at least I prefer to leave this impression than just, yeah, that was good. Where are we going to eat? And I hear that so much. So I'm an artist, I'm a painter, and I will always be.
Up the back. Hi.
Yeah.
Quickly, I just wanted to say thank you. You're actually the reason I'm at film school right now.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. Your work growing up made me want to be a director, so now I am.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you personally, we all have problems with writing block and creative holes that you feel like you can't fill. Do you have any kind of tricks or tips or ways that you can progress creatively, both when you feel blocked and when you want new inspiration?
On the script or on the directing?
Both, either. Go for it.
I think that probably the most important, even if it sounds very large, I will say don't lie to yourself. That's the first thing. You know, like when you work for 6 months and you start to be desperate, but suddenly you think your script is good because you just want to move on. No, if it's not good enough, just work again. And it doesn't matter if it takes a month or 2 years. Just don't lie. If it's good, keep it. If it's not, change it. And be responsible of your own ideas, but stay open. I have a rule. If there's 2, 3 people saying the same thing about the script, it's something is wrong. You know, I give my script usually to my mom and my butcher. What? He's a great guy. He knows nothing about movies, but he goes to see a movie every week. So he read the thing, and if my butcher and my mom saying, yeah, it's great, but at the end I don't understand. Why the guy, who is the guy? You can go back to work. You don't need an executive from the studio to tell you that, you know, this actor will be tremendous on the part. Anyway. And I learned that because when I did Subway, everybody, you know, was criticizing my script, saying, oh, it's not good, it's confused and things. And then one day I gave the script to Isabella Gianni. She was like the biggest star in France at the time. In the night, my script became amazing. Because she said, yeah, I'm going to do the film. Oh my God, your script is amazing. You know, and since then I'm very careful with that. So, and maybe another tip, don't give your script too soon to a producer. Most of the script that I receive are premature. They're not ready. And you don't have a second chance. When the producer read the script, he won't have the patience to read it twice or 3 times. You know? So if you want to give the most chances, work until you don't know what else to do. And then give it. And
Hi.
yeah.
Just let me say in French quickly. Merci pour le film, c'était super, trop cool, la France en force.
That was French.
I'm just curious, if you were given the same amount of technology that you used for that movie back in 1998 for the Filmink, would you have done things differently for that movie, for that particular movie, with that amount of technology you used for Valerian?
If I had the same technology that I have today for the Fifth Element?
Yes.
Yeah, of course, it will change a lot. I mean, I know lots of people are in love with the Fifth Element, but you know when we remember this girl at 17, oh my God, she was so gorgeous and so beautiful, and then suddenly you watch the picture and say, eh? That's her? So Fifth Element is great, I love my film, but honestly the special effects sucks. No, you're in love. Forget it. Honestly, they're not good anymore, which is logical. It's 20 years ago. So, yeah, if I have the technology that I have on Valerian, I will make that better for sure.
Would you change on the bass?
I will probably change a little bit the rhythm because I think it's a little slow now when I watch it again. What? No, it's not. Come on. It's not. You're in love, babe, I swear. Watch closer. She has like pimples and. Yes.
Mr. Besson,
Yes.
thank you so much for your amazing work. My question is, what is your approach to directing actors?
Oh, actors. First you have to consider that they're all different, all of them. So you have to study the field first. So the first few meetings, first few lunch, don't talk about the film. Make them talk. They're actors, they love that. So they're gonna tell you their story, why they cry, their parents, and ask as many questions as you can, because in fact they give you all the keys when they talk. They give you the keys that you can use later. And then you have to, when you know the field and you know who they are, you have to organize yourself. Some actors, you have to understand a few actors are premature, like they're good in the first 3 takes, and then after the juice goes down and you need to wait for takes number 25 to have the juice coming back, or they get scared after 5 takes because they say, oh my god, I didn't give what he wants, and they panic. Some actors, it's the opposite. They need 3-4 takes to warm up a bit. So start on the one who has the energy, since the other guy is prepping himself. You know, for example. Otherwise, if you do the opposite, you're dead. It's this kind of thing. You have to figure out which scenes they are fearing, also, and you have to organize when you're going to do it. You know, if you do it too soon, they're going to be nervous for 2 weeks. So put it later and play with the timetable sometime. And you can, it's easy to judge. Like there's one scene where they're scared, and it's normally in 3 weeks. And you arrive on the morning and say, oh, maybe on the schedule we're going to change. Do you mind if we do it next week? And then you see his eyes. And he's in panic. You say, yeah, sure. Yeah, okay, just checking. You don't want to change the date, you just want to check if it's very easy. I did sometimes the opposite. Say we're going to shoot next week, and then I feel the guy and I say, oh, you know what, we're going to do it in a few days. And I did that a few times. And the guy at the end, he wants to make the scene so much that when we make the scene, he explodes. So you have to play with that. You have to play with the actors, and don't let them take the power on the set. That's the most important. Don't let them take the power. You're dead if you do that. So fight, leave the plateau if you have to, but you have to make them understand that you're the boss on the set. I give you a very simple example. Scarlett, very well. She's trained. She's 13 years old, so she knows her job. She has seen many directors. We're talking about Lucy, and then she said, "Oh, I would love to know more about my background. Where I come from and all this." She's testing me, of course, and say, "You're sure? I understand. Here, that's 25 pages about your life before the film." And by the way, here's 25 pages about your dad also, and here 25 pages about your mom. Other questions? And then suddenly she said, oh, okay, great, fine. And you establish that you work and you're ready. And then suddenly the actor is going to lay off and say, oh, okay, I'm in a good hands. He knows what he's doing. So if you're pushing on something that she's not quite understand, and you say, no, trust me, let's go this way, she won't say, okay, I trust the guy. If the answer, when she say, I would love to know my background, and then you say, that's a good idea. Miss Scarlett, she's dead. Yes. Yes.
Bonjour, je peux parler français aussi.
No, it's better in English because
okay.
Otherwise no one understands.
All right. So I wanted to know if you're available for dinner afterwards, and also if this is your movie that you are the most proud of it.
If this one is, I'm the most proud of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why?
Because I work a lot on it, and it's very, very close as a director, very close of what I want on each shot. And as a director, I finished the film 3 days earlier, and there's 2,000 people working on it, and I hand up the thing all together, and it makes me very proud. In fact, I think the cast is great. There's some moment of Cara who are amazing, some moment with Rihanna also. I love the beginning. I love a lot of scenes in it, and yeah, I'm proud of it. It's my baby.
Hey Luc, how are you?
Good.
Now, obviously you said that this has been your passion project for a long time, since you read the comics when you were a young boy. My question is, at what stage, it's a two-part question, at what stage did you realize, okay, it's now time to make it? Were you waiting for creative freedom to make it? Were you waiting on the budget? Were you waiting on the right actors? And the second part to the question is, as it was your passion project, and obviously the actors, how do you direct actors when most of the time what they're looking at is green screens and not your world in particular?
Okay, so the first one, I think when you, there's two criteria for a director. The first one is the freshness. The second one is the knowledge. When I start, I was 19 years old. My freshness was at 100%, my knowledge at 0, basically. I mean, I don't even know what is a love story at 19. I have like 2 experiences with a girl and that's it. So what I'm gonna talk about, you know? The more you go, your freshness going down and your knowledge going up. And I think it's like a sportman. There's always a moment where it's the right time, where you're still fresh enough and then you have the experience enough. And I think I'm entering this zone. And usually it's a couple of years, it's not long. But I feel that I still have the freshness a bit and enough knowledge to do, you know, like hard job. And so that's to answer when are we ready, when we feel that. It's like the Olympic game, you know, 4 years sooner the guy is not ready, 4 years later it's too late. But there's one time where the guy is ready for the Olympic game. So it's the same for a director. And about the blue screen with the actors, most of the time they play with actors. So, you know, like I'm talking to you, I don't know what's in my bag. It's a blue screen or it doesn't matter. I'm talking to you, so I concentrate on you. So there's always a piece of an element of location, and then there's blue screens, but they know what it's on the blue screen, and most of the time they're concerned about the action or what they are doing right now and reacting to other comedians. And you probably heard sometime that, you know, on the blue screen they're talking to a tennis ball. Oh my God, my father. In this film, everyone, every aliens, every creatures, even the crawling creatures, it's an actor, always. I don't know how to direct a tennis ball, so I want an actor to play. So they're always reacting with someone. And believe me, we work a lot. You remember the first alien we see in the film? The first who comes and shakes hands. He has very tall and big lips. And he has this kind of kindness. It's very difficult for you have like 5 seconds to make him understand that this alien is kind and he doesn't talk. So just the way he walks takes us almost 2 weeks. We watch footages of camels and you know he's gonna walk a little bit like this. He's uncomfortable. You know, just that, it takes a week to find out. We have to put like pieces of wood under here. So he's like walking